Coming up on Up at Noon, we've got the director of Monster Hunter World telling us how to hunt some famous monsters. We went to a toy store called Super 7 and it was really cool. And we've got some Black Panther action figures and an art book to check out. All that and more right now on Up at Noon Live.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's me, Brian Altano, and this is my good old friend, Max Scoville. And today we're doing Up at Noon Live, every Thursday at noon Pacific time.
It's live, anything can happen, such as having our mics on during the pre-roll section where people are populating the chat, so it's just us like muttering to ourselves about things while the trailers roll.
Which sucks, because that's really when Max and I have our deepest heart-to-hearts and reveal our best secrets. That's actually our sort of like, our like kind of, you know, diary with the little lock on top.
I'm really glad that we didn't say anything terrible.
Yeah.
But even if we did, it's cool because you can still grow up and be president someday.
That's true.
Anyway, Up at Noon streams every week on IGN, Twitch, Roku, Apple TV, Xbox One, PS4, Wowza, Weeboo, and pretty much the entire galaxy.
My mic's off.
My mic isn't off.
Anyway, Up at Noon streams live every week on IGN, Twitch, Roku, Apple TV, Xbox One, PS4, Wowza, Weeaboo, and pretty much the entire gal. My mic is off.
Can I use your mic?
How's that?
Are both the mics off?
Are we good? We're good.
My mic is on. The light's on. Anyway.
This week's episode is brought to you by Yoda. He's great. I love him a lot. He's a small frog troll that lives in a hole and then he died.
Should we just do like a mime episode?
Sure. I got mustaches. We can do the mustache thing again. I'm almost down for that.
I don't even know if we should be talking. I guess this is just one of those weird episodes where things go
great.
Wrong.
Well, so Up at Noon is the weekly show where Brian Altano gets to talk for 1 full hour by himself while his friend struggles in misery pretending to get a word in edgewise. How do you feel about that, Max? I feel great. As a tall man, I bump my head on the ceiling every day and it really hurts. Jeffrey Giraffe was my favorite animal of all time because I'm so tall, just like him. Sometimes at home, my friends use me as a ladder. It doesn't work when you show me. I'm so mad I'm stewing in my mind. This sucks being so tall and also having Mickey Mouse's voice. What a huge pain in the ass it is. They're switching my microphone right now.
Does this mic work? Can you guys hear me now? Does that work? Oh, that was not even on. Now it's on. It's on. Can you hear me? Hello? Hi? Anybody? Is it working?
It's working.
Is it working?
It's working.
All right. I'm going to put this one on. I don't even
How is that? Is that working?
Talk to nobody. You know what? Sometimes I like to live stream without the internet. I just go out in the woods and talk to myself.
How was
that goes.
How was my impression of you?
I thought it was pretty good. That's actually what I sounded like until about halfway through 11th grade. So.
No, really?
Dude, I was a late bloomer. It was not great.
Did you have that funny little voice?
People were like, I didn't know that because I don't know. You hear your voice inside your head. Inside my head, I sound like Raphael from the Ninja Turtles. So you know, yeah.
Are we good? If we're in the comments, let us know. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, let's do the show.
Let's do the show. We're in. Thank you so much for putting up with our.
It's weird. It's a live show.
Yeah,
this stuff happens. One time I said the F word on our E3 live stream. That was great.
Oh yeah, that was the best.
Pre-order Lego Avengers. What could go wrong?
He said, "Oh, F word. Can we do this over?" And then everyone was quiet for 20 seconds, and they're like, "It's live."
Yeah, that was cool. Anyway,
was that your first? E3?
Now I go to therapy every Thursday. Anyway, here's some great news for everybody. A bunch of games got delayed, which means you don't get to play them soon. So you have to sit around and wait and do stuff. That's seriously, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I love when the thing I like is further away from my hands.
Yeah. So first things first, I love how just pretty much anytime EA opens their proverbial mouth, they just put a foot right in there. They announced that Anthem, that big, huge game that BioWare is working on that looks kind of like their answer to Destiny, but with like Iron Man suits and just an even bigger world, and you go around and you fight Rancors in an old log. It kind of just looks like everything big combined into one thing. Looks gorgeous. They're like, oh, that won't be coming out until 2019. And people are like, so wait, is it delayed? And they're like, oh no. It just won't be coming out until 2019. So
here's what The Verge said. According to EA's chief financial officer Blake Jorgensen, despite moving the release date to 2019, it's not a delay. Instead, EA views the move as an opportunity to give Anthem a chance to get more attention as a new property than if it was forced to compete in a more crowded fall marketplace. Guess what? When you're going to do something and you don't do it because you have to do it later, you delayed doing it. And that's what happened to this game.
Now listen here, we didn't move the goalposts, we just distorted the perspective of the playing field as a whole. So really a holistic approach to just the pitch in general. Yeah, so EA, all right, great.
Max, I'd like to announce that you're getting your Christmas presents on January 32nd this year.
Wow. What a time to be alive.
You've been a great boy last year, and I thought that in order to not compete with some of the other things that might be happening on Christmas, such as the tree and snow, that you'd have a great time to appreciate this game on your own someday later, but not later because it's not delayed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people say that you're bald, but I don't think you are. I think you just have ears lowers Lee's disorder.
That's true.
Anyway, so. And the other thing, we're also not getting Red Dead Redemption 2. Is it 2? Red Dead Redemption 2, they're calling it that? I wasn't sure if like Red Dead reaffirmation or something. Anyway, Red Dead 2, God, everyone's looking forward to that. We were expecting that really soon. I think that was initially going to come out in like March or something. And then they were like, no, just kidding, it's going to be later. And now it's getting pushed all the way till October,
And this was after it got delayed last year. So, you know, just a really good time for video games.
You know,
I think this is okay. I'm really weird in that every time they delay this game, it's it just means that it's getting better.
Yeah, I mean, this is Rockstar. They have like such an incredible portfolio of games, and when they put a game out, I mean, for instance, like the GTA 5 wiki is still like the best performing thing on IGN. That game is still being played. That game came out in 2013. That's crazy. There's people who were probably starting high school when that came out who were like graduating now, and they're still like, hey, great news! You get like a laser gun or a hover car or whatever. So I mean. And the fact that Red Dead 2 is going to be the first game they're developing for this console generation, this game is going to be, I mean, it's going to be groundbreaking. Whatever the hell it is, it's going to be incredible. And I'm looking forward to it. So if they need a few more months to figure out what they're doing and to nail stuff down, that's totally fine. And I don't think anyone's mad about it. And on the bright side, that was an alligator. It's going to be good stuff. There's bears. On the bright side, they did give us a bunch of new screenshots to look at, and I love that it's 2018 and you can have like streaming 4K video and just they can show us so much, but they're still like, you know what? Here's some pictures, which I appreciate. It's kind of less is more sometimes.
We just talked about the way sort of EA handled a delay by not calling it a delay. Their PR has been all over the place, and I really like a lot of the stuff they do. I spent most of the end of last year defending how much fun I found Battlefront to be after all the hubbub died down, and recently they said that it kind of sold less than they hoped, and microtransactions were coming back. And meanwhile, Rockstar is just this like smart, quiet ninja that just shows up once or twice a year and just throws out a few stars and disappears. And they're so good at that. So we got a couple new screenshots today.
Let's take a look at these.
Let's gawk at these.
This one is just, I don't know, it's a pretty picture of a horse. These all, I feel like if you put the oil painting filter on them, they could look like classical American landscape works. They're stunning.
These are some great new paintings from Thomas Kincaid you can get down at the mall.
You could like print these on like a throw blanket and take them down to the craft fair and sell them to like weird ants.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's this one. It's very nice. This one is less nice because it's dusty, but it's still cool.
I feel like you could write MAGA on a bunch of these.
Probably, yeah. And then here's this guy who's doing the guns.
That's a great coat.
So if you're just tuning in, this is a game about cowboys.
Really good coat.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some very cool stuff.
You know who's not having a good time is the people in the exploding house back there.
That's actually
especially the guy in jorts who's throwing up.
That's the Splinter Festival they have every year. It was very popular back in the olden days. Before they invented confetti, they used to just explode boards everywhere.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
I like that there's going to be snow in this. I think it'll be nice. I mean, they had like, I don't know, like a minute of GTA 5 that has snow in it, but they're not really known for having a lot of like, I don't know, Arctic stuff in their games.
Do you think everyone in the background of this game will be blurry?
You play as someone with an astigmatism in the Old West, dying for a monocle.
It's hard to get that fixed back
They're having the winter Splinter Festival, which they have to do indoors because, as you can see, it's snowing.
Yeah,
so
the blurry boys are back in this shot.
And then there's this, which you can go on a date, but bring a gun because there could be bears abound. Who knows?
This is his new album. Don't look at my wife.
Yeah.
Don't look at my wife, or you'll see the barrel of a gun. Her name is Peckaker, and she is gorgeous, and she's got a huge hat.
All right. My wife's hat is bigger than all of yours. Buy my record. And then finally, there's this one, which is a nice reminder that this game is almost definitely going to have some kind of a camera feature in it.
Also you get to play as Jesus.
Yeah, that's weird. That's the good Halo. This is what happens when you die. You come back and you go around looking like that.
You think those horses is trying to eat those bats?
Why do they let you talk about things? I love how there are people like, hey, take the cowboy video game seriously, please. Oh, good.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
Okay, all right.
Hey everyone, it's me, John Marston. I died, but before I did, I rode this big dunker of a horse, and we ate flies in the nighttime and talked about my wife.
This is my filly, Cleopatra. Anyway, so that's cool. I mean, this game is...
See, can't you wait for this game to come out so we can stop doing this?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's going to be great when it comes out. It also means we're probably going to get a trailer at some point that actually shows off gameplay, which we still haven't seen, and everyone's just like, give us the game!
You know what would be a really nice thing to do between now and then? Take the last Red Dead game Put it on Switch.
Ooh.
Make $100 million in an afternoon. Boom.
That'd be real nice. And there's somewhere out there, there's a whole lot of just PC gamers who are just at this point just jumping out windows because that game still never.
I can't imagine that sect of the gaming community to be irate or angry in any way whatsoever, period.
I mean, how could you be angry in a PC gamer? You've got the soothing hum of a cooling fan at all times.
Nothing says calm like elitism.
Okay, that's enough. They're doxing us. Anyway, moving on. They also announced that the Nintendo Switch officially outsold the Wii U, which really shouldn't be a huge surprise to anybody, but it was a nice excuse to poorly Photoshop this picture. Get it? It won. It won the race.
There's a Luigi death stare.
Yeah.
What is that?
So,
What is that cart? That's a weird cart.
That's the Italian canoe, I call it. Yeah, the Sicilian catamaran, Luigi's favorite.
We are going to spend the next, probably the rest of our lives, there we are, talking, sort of retconning the Wii U to be the failure that it was. And to be completely honest, yeah, it didn't sell nearly as many copies as it should have. A big part of that was because Nintendo literally never put it on sale. Like, they had one little price drop for the entire system's life. I think it's still incredibly expensive to buy right now.
Yeah, I was wondering about this. Like, how many people have bought a Wii U in 2018? Because it's not like they've done anything to make it more appealing. They're not like, hey, go buy this. I mean, they regularly have price drops for the 3DS, but I feel like with the Wii U, they're still kind of off in this corner trying to break even with it. So.
Well, there's also, I mean, I think it's sort of like old grandmother GameStop comes by once a year and she buys stuff like, you know, Horse Racing Deluxe and, you know, like Kirby 2DS, and then she gets a Wii U for the kids because everyone loves the new Nintendo Switch Wii U. See,
I was confused because you said old grandmother GameStop, and I thought you meant like GameStop's grandmother, not like a grandmother who goes to GameStop, but like
GameStop's grandmother is Babbage's.
That's fair, yeah.
Old Grandma Babbage's.
Down at the old electronics boutique.
So, no, I don't know, like, that's great news for Switch. I think the one to watch for now is the GameCube, because GameCube sold around, I want to say 23, 24 million by the end of its life, and I think that Switch will make that probably in the next year and a half, which is bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, the Switch is such a wonderful testament that you do not need to have like super high-end graphics. Like, you don't need power to make good games.
Yep.
I mean, that's the reason we're still playing games. If power was the determining factor of games, they would have probably just kind of crapped out after the Atari.
Yeah,
these suck. I can't see their pores.
Before we leave the Wii U behind forever, I mean, I really like that system. Like, it did a lot of things wrong, and it was really stupid in a lot of ways, but it got a lot right. Mario 3D World is one of my favorite games of all time. The Smash Brothers game is awesome. Wind Waker HD is fantastic. There's a bunch of great games there that haven't made it over here yet. We got very quickly at the end of the day yesterday some news about Nintendo's online infrastructure is officially launching in September, and that means paid online. So you can play for free until now and then. But that means that there's no way in hell they're launching that thing without something substantial, and so that's why I think that the Wii U Smash Brothers game will come to Switch this September.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense. That's how you get people on board with the new paid thing.
It's $20 a year, which is pretty bonkers compared to
that's totally
Xbox Live and PSN.
Yeah, it's also cool because I mean, end of the day, Nintendo does go for family stuff, and you know that's a much easier sell for parents than for like, oh, it's $60 right now for you to do something. I don't know. Anyway, in other news, we got news this morning that there are some new Ninja Turtles on the way. They keep rebooting that every year. They cannot kill them. The turtles grow back. The new series is called Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's coming out in September. Here's what the turtles look like.
What? What?
Yeah, what?
What is this?
What do you mean? This is Ninja Turtles.
Why do they have faces on their kneecaps? What is going on here? What is this, dude?
I don't. It looks like they're drawing a lot from the designs in the Michael Bay movies.
Yeah, they got those weird bandanas that cover their whole heads, and they look like motorcycle enthusiasts. What's with the toes?
What do you mean?
Look at their feet. They look like birds.
I don't know. They're just doing a very angular kind of.
I feel like this is like 5%. There we go. This is like 5% Samurai Jack, which I dig. Like, it's very angular and poppy.
Yeah, and our producer just pointed out, get my face off of there. I feel weird. Don't do that.
You're the leader.
Anyway, Raphael doesn't have size. He's got tonfa, which is kind of cool.
What?
It's kind of changing things up.
Is Michelangelo a girl?
No, he just looks like it. He just acts like it.
Is it still those staff that Donatello?
This is dude.
Donatello's got like a spear.
Oh yeah, he's got
and
like
also,
a scepter.
And like Leo's katana kind of looks more like a Chinese sword. Almost.
Move us out of the way real quick. Michelangelo basically has a ball and chain on a nunchuck stick.
Oh, he does.
like
cool.
it's kind of like spike ball.
That reminds me of the yo-yo that Raphael came with in the old action figures. Anyway,
okay.
That's not the only thing that's changing. We also get a look at April O'Neil and Splinter.
Okay, I like these a lot.
Yeah, April O'Neil is black for the first time, which is cool.
And she's got like a ecto like
yeah, I got
bat.
some questions about what that is. Is she like summoning ghost weapons or something?
Splinter looks like if like Ren and Stimpy took on Splinter. Like that's really good.
Yeah. I mean, how these designs look, I think, really depends on how the rest of the show looks and what they look like. Get me out of it! Stop doing that. This is just a weird like curse. I'm always making weird photoshops of people, and then they're like, "All right, go on the show." And then
Tippinator in the Twitch comments just said, "Master Splinter looks like Stimpy." Dude, we're completely on the same page here.
Yeah.
I kind of dig those designs. I haven't seen this in action yet.
I mean,
have you seen this moving around?
No, I don't think they've revealed any footage. I'd say they're probably going to do that. I don't know, maybe Comic-Con. They'll probably show an episode then, but it's coming out in September, so it's it's
Glacius84 says they look puny and weak. Yeah, I think that like there's a fine line between that because I think the Michael Bay like sort of like steroided out turtles were a bit too much. I like the '90s ones because they were bulky, but also they were teenagers. Like the people I was friends with in high school, like that weren't on like giant like muscle drugs or anything like that. They were, they have a little bit of muscles.
Yeah.
You're lean, you're in good shape for the most part.
The designs change around a lot. Here's a toy that's based on the original Eastman Laird designs, covered in dust.
Yeah, where their necks were like a foot
and
tall.
they were always kind of, these are funny because they look a lot like actual tortoises. Like they got really skinny necks and they've got like big donkey feet. And they every time they redesign these guys, they change them a tiny bit.
Yeah.
And I mean the kind of the underlying concept is that a ninja is something that is like swift and fast and lean and can jump around, and a turtle is like it's like a doorstop that has legs. It's not really a fast animal. So
were you seen?
That's the
yeah,
joke.
I was. I'm 9 feet tall and 500 pounds wide.
Yes, I climbed up the fire escape. It took me 2 months.
Yeah, that's yeah. Okay. Well, like on the flip side, I'm very happy that like every generation gets a Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
and
it's
that'll
awesome.
never go away.
At this point, I remember when people were mad about like, I don't know, the 2003 version. They were like, "Oh, I don't like this," and I was like, "No, it's pretty cool. I should probably be talking to girls, but I'm watching Ninja Turtles on Toonami."
If you love the Ninja Turtles, keep watching the show because we have an awesome segment for later on in the episode where we go through their weird history with pizza.
Oh yeah.
And Max
weird.
and I are both on like a very healthy diet this month, and that was very hard to put together. I don't ever complain about this job, but man, spending like 2 hours looking at pizza yesterday freaking killed me.
Yeah, that's
just
pretty
so
rough.
difficult.
Now, in other news, big thing this week was we got a new trailer for AntMan and the Wasp. I didn't watch it.
Me neither.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna see this. It's so much of the kind of the appeal of those movies is the sort of the visuals. The first trailer we got kind of spoiled the whole funny fight scene they did on a train, where it was like it zooms out and you're like, oh, it's a toy train. That's funny. You did like a classic action thing, but small. That's entertaining to look at, and it's sort of not a spoiler, but it's like once you see it, you know what you're getting in for.
I'm really torn on teasers in general these days, and it's sort of the way. Well, here it is.
I'm not even looking. I'm just gonna look away from it.
We're gonna look away.
Yeah.
Well, yep. So, but I mean, the thing is with trailers now is first of all they show you like 20 seconds of it before it even starts, and it's sort of like this Vine version of the trailer.
They spoiled the trailer, which frequently spoils part of the, like, how do you spoil a trailer? Like, that's so dumb.
Well, it's also like you go on social media and people tweet out GIFs from it. It's almost impossible to go in totally blind. We work with Alexio, who's not here today, and Alexio
got sound problems.
Yeah, Alexio tries to not watch a single frame of anything Star Wars related before every Star Wars movie. And
his job is to run trailers for this show, we're like, all right, if you notice between the 117th and 118th frame of the new trailer, there's a slight blurry shape. Let's enhance that. And it's his job to like zoom in on it and pull it up. So, I don't know. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think it'll be fun. Again, it's funny that they're putting this out right in the wake of one of the big, huge, like flagpole, it's an Avengers movie, and then it's the Ant-Man. So hopefully this one catches on. I think the first one did well enough that people are like, Thor Ragnarok really kind of broke down a lot of doors. It was like, hey, you can get weird with Marvel. People will still go see it. We want to see what happens. People like these characters.
I think it's really interesting in the way they have tremendous confidence in Black Panther, as they should, because it looks fantastic and it's screening really well already. The social media embargo was up from the red carpet the other day. But Black Panther is solely allowed to exist sort of in his own universe, and they show the trailer and they're like, welcome to Wakanda. It's this dive into this brand new world. And whereas Ant-Man, they're like, do you like Ant-Man? Well, he's one of the Avengers. Remember the Avengers? Look, here's him on the Avengers' shoulders. He's the first, one of the, it says like Ant-Man, friends of the Avengers.
I do like that angle though. I kind of hope that for maybe the third one, they just call it like Ant-Man, Earth's smallest Avenger, or something, something just like poking fun at that.
I mean, even the last movie had like an entire Avengers fight scene in it, where he went to Avengers headquarters.
I do really like that his whole power is like, it's kind of dumb. Like, he gets very small, and that has its purposes. He can still, he demonstrates that it can be useful, but he didn't, he doesn't get the giant man powers until, that's like a later thing. So. I like that they're kind of like, I mean, turning huge is like, that's a cool power. You're like, I can step on you. But getting really teeny, you're like, you got to get creative with that. So I'm glad they're getting creative with that movie. However, we mentioned the Black Panther premiere. At the red carpet, somebody asked Kevin Feige about the state of the MCU and asked about the fact that the recent Disney purchase of 20th Century Fox, what's going on with X-Men and Fantastic Four? Are we going to see in the MCU? And he said, officially, that we're not thinking about it. Formally, obviously, you got to control the messaging there. He's kind of a PR guy. He's got to be like, he's like, okay, we don't, and that's all happening in like a different pay grade. That's all happening in the business side of things still. But he's basically like, yeah, we're not talking about it. We don't know. We don't have any ideas for that, and that's not true. There's no way that in some meeting they haven't been like, man, it sure would be cool if the Juggernaut was here, or like, oh, man, it's really a bummer that we can't mention adamantium in the same sentence as vibranium, or like, just, oh, hey, the Black Panther happens to marry Storm from the X-Men. Right. Should we think about that down the road? They are absolutely thinking about it. They just can't say that officially because it's still kind of not set in stone and they don't want to get people's hopes up.
So then say that.
Yes.
That's better than saying, no, we haven't really thought about it.
Man, that sure would be cool, and we hope we get to. That would be much more optimistic than we're not even thinking about it. That's not true. We've had Uber drivers who are thinking about it. Right. Our downstairs security guard is thinking about it. Anybody who knows where these characters come from has thought about it. This is like having a divorce where like one kid goes to each parent. Like let the X-Men and the Avengers fight. Let me just get these guys all together in there. I want to see that. It's going to be great. I love that. I love the Marvel stuff. If we're going to have these awful corporate conglomerates in this dystopian future, at least make it so that Wolverine and Captain America can fight. They can do that thing for the cover of that Captain America annual where he's dragging his claws across the shield and you're like, which is stronger, vibranium or adamantium? And there's sparks flying, and the answer is they're both equally strong, and it's very cool. Also,
preach!
Yes. Anyway.
Preach, baby, preach!
I just like those X-Men, and the X-Men movies kind of suck.
Personally, I've never even thought about these characters getting together. That's weird. Why would Wolverine and Spider-Man be in the same film?
Beast was in the Avengers.
Nah, I've never really thought about it.
For reasons I'm still unclear of.
That's odd.
He turned blue, and they were like, "You're too much for the."
When I was a kid, I kept all my toys in the packages in separate rooms in separate homes. So I've never even seen a picture of Wolverine, Spider-Man, Venom, and Carnage and Cyclops. Everybody in the same. It would never happen. Never, not in a million years.
Yep. Who knows?
Stupid.
Anyway, on the subject of the MCU, Black Panther's the next big thing around the corner. Obviously, a lot of people are looking forward to it. It looks awesome. To be like perfectly blunt, I never got into Black Panther. Yeah. It's kind of one corner of the Marvel Universe that just never really got my attention.
I feel like that's the big payoff of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is that we spent the first 10 years getting rewarded for all this sort of like top level kind of nerdy stuff that we grew up watching, right? Like Spider-Man and Captain America and all that Iron Man stuff like that. And now they're getting deeper, and it's so delightful and surprising. Thor, I never really connected with. Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think that's the thing is, the less you know about the character going in, the more of like a fake casual comic fan you are, the better it is. Like, I know the X-Men way too well, so that's why I hate those films, because I'm like, they got all these things wrong. They might. Actually, if you're like an expert on the Black Panther comics, you might go into that movie and be like, oh, they completely botched it. All these things are wrong. But for the most part, people seem like they're excited about it. I mean, Thor and Guardians are two areas that I, again, don't know the first thing about. So I'm excited about that. There's a lot of stuff kind of coming out alongside this. We got a bunch of the new action figures from Black Panther, the Marvel Legends, as it is. And they are, I think, kind of trickling out in the stores right now, so I figured we'd show some of off. We also got a really cool coffee table book we'll take a look at in a second. Yep. First things first, here is T'Challa himself, Black Panther. If you've ever bought an action figure in the last, like, literally 15 years based on Marvel stuff, it could have been a Marvel Legends. They're like a very long-running series. They're some of the best, like, most consistent toys out these days. And there's I think they put like a little bit of extra effort into the live action stuff. I wonder if that's like, I don't know if that's like a movie marketing budget or whatever.
These are really, really stunning sculpts, and as we've mentioned before with this series, you can buy these for $20 each, like at Walgreens, like when you're there picking up vitamins or whatever.
So here's what they look like boxed. Obviously, he comes with an alternate head. Which,
extra hands.
Yeah, which looks it's weird. It's supposed to be Chadwick Boseman, but it looks sort of like a looks kind of like Casey Affleck. It's kind of weird. I mean, he's got they always, I mean, they do like the kind of 3D sculpt and the scan and the digital painting or whatever. But anyway, interchangeable heads. There's also Eric Killmonger, who we have over here. He's got. I seriously, this is how little I'm trying to pay attention to trailers, just because I want to really go in and enjoy the film itself. I didn't know that Eric Killmonger was this guy. I just thought that Black Panther had different costumes. So if that's a spoiler for you,
he's the bad guy, right? That's why he has that name.
I think it's kind of one of those, like, you know, kind of saw that one coming a mile away.
Yep.
And then we've got let's see, what's her name? Nakia, who is Lupita Nyong'o here, and she's got these cool like chakrams she can throw around, these big kind of, you know, frisbees.
You also can wear those as earrings if you're, you know, running out to a nice dinner in a pinch.
Sure, yeah, you put them on your keys. That's weird. I don't know why you would do that. And then kind of lining this thing out, there's also let's see, what's her name? Scroll down a little bit here on the prompter, please. Follow along with me. Follow the bouncing ball. Here's the Build-A-Figure. This is Okoye, who is played by Denai Guerrero, who's Michonne from The Walking Dead. If you're a fan of hers, it's kind of a bummer because you do have to buy like this entire line to assemble her. She comes with like bits and pieces.
Can you grab some of those real quick? I just want to show. Obviously, if you've never heard of Build-A-Figs, you have to buy 6 of them, and then each one comes with a part.
Yep.
And so what's in here? A leg.
Yep.
So yeah, you get an extra leg in here. But in the Black Panther toy, you get her head, which is odd because the Black Panther toy has alternate heads, so you can effectively, there it is in there, you can effectively pop off his head and just add hers, which
you
is
can do that.
Like, all right.
Is it even the same? It might not even be the same stud. Let's
Really?
find out.
Let's
Let's
find
do
out.
some weird
Let's do
head
it.
stuff here. All right, so
I think it's working. We're gonna make a brand new Marvel character on the spot right here. This might be some spoilers for Black Panther right here.
this might not work. We might ruin the toy. Who knows? Let's find out. Oh, that's a very tight. Yeah, that's a tight fit. But you can balance it loosely on there, and you get kind of an odd look. Looks like somebody who just sticks to neck day. Look at that. Just the weird head.
Oh, that is awful.
Anyway, also in this line are a couple kind of classic comic-based figures. Here is Invincible Iron Man, kind of the more recent design.
I really like this toy, by the way.
Yeah, it's cool. It's got these kind of like these fun, you know, proton blasts, whatever.
Yeah, they come right off, they pop off and pop back on. So
if you want, you can like get like a small Gatorade bottle and make it look like somebody's just spilling Arctic frost every which way. There's also a good old classic Jack Kirby Namor, who. Like, you know, Namor's one of those characters. He's basically Marvel's Aquaman. He's one of their oldest characters. He's been around forever, and they've never even tried to bother with him in the movies. I think because it's like he's the Prince of Atlantis. They might be saving him for like after, you know, Infinity War or whatever.
It'd be funny if they did it before the Aquaman movie and just dropped their Aquaman.
That'd be pretty
like,
cool.
Hey, we got an Aquaman too.
Yeah,
like the burly men in underwear.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's really no getting around this. It's buying basically Leonard Nimoy in green panties here with Hermes feet. So if you're into that,
kind of looks like a '90s wrestling toy.
It's a really good toy, but again, it's like I feel like it's more questions than answers to have it on your desk.
Yeah.
And then there's also Black Bolt from the Inhumans. Thankfully, they're not pulling from that awful TV show version of him where he doesn't dress cool, but he's got the little tuning fork in his head. There is an alternate version of him that has the closed mouth, not talking, and then there's the one with the tuning fork shooting lightning out of it. Stop doing that, Brian. Stop that. Stop it. And then finally, I think, is that it? Yeah, Aquaman's got a trident. So anyway, those are the Black Panther line Marvel Legends. They're $20, give or take. You can find them in stores around you in the world, on the internet, at comic conventions. Brian, quit it. Put that down. And yeah, they thank you to Hasbro for sending those over to us.
Very cool stuff.
Apologies for Brian doing the things with the Namor
I'm just
figure.
doing what the toy does. That's one of his favorite things to do in the comic books. Is it just goes.
That's not true. I don't think you've ever read any Namor the Submariner comics. He doesn't ever do that.
Hey, you want proof that you never have to grow up? Right there.
What does that mean?
It means you can do this. You can just do this.
What do you mean?
Eventually, you can be a grown man. You can put on a nice jacket. You know, you get married and you go to work and you hold up this man's ass.
Stop doing that.
Just did it.
That's awful.
Too late. We got a book.
We got a book.
Book Panther.
I get it.
Black Panther book. This is from Insight Editions. It is huge and gorgeous and awesome. We really like big, like giant, oversized art books.
We
on
like
the show.
big books, and we cannot lie.
I like big books. Okay, so this is $45. It's from Insight Editions. It feels like it should be like $80 because it's just super nice.
Yeah, I was actually kind of remarking on that. If you go out to the comic shop and you buy like a Marvel hardcover trade paperback or what, you know, hardcover collected edition of a comic, that usually winds up being around $30, you know?
Yeah.
So, and that's like, I don't know, like an issue or two. This is like a great history book of the Black Panther, just top to bottom, really going through all of his different iterations and appearances.
And appearances, that's what I really dig. Is
I
like
love this kind of stuff because there's a lot of stuff you can get. You can buy like the omnibus of like collected editions, but it's cool to kind of just get like a history book for comics. I think they also have one inside editions about Deadpool, which is like the many iterations of Deadpool.
Yeah, like if you know very, very little about this character like us, this is a really fantastic place to jump in. Also, man, some of these would make really cool posters if you feel like buying a second book and just tearing it apart with an X-Acto blade.
I think it, does it come with a print back here? I think it actually does. Look at that, it comes with a poster even.
Oh, that rules.
So it's this nice little, is that signed and numbered?
Yeah. Oh,
no.
dude, look at this one.
I think that's...
This looks like one of your drawings.
Does it?
Kind of.
Does it really? Just like that?
Or if you were like, if you like drew on
I love
cars.
we're getting into the 90s here with the digital coloring that Marvel went so heavy with back then. Oh man.
Yeah, this stuff's really, really great. So, like I said again, Insight Editions. It's $45. It is a just massive, gorgeous tome of all things Black Panther.
Yeah. They do some great stuff.
Complete. It's basically the chronological appearances he's ever had in any comic, and then a bunch of sort of like cool write-ups about him.
And if you get tired of looking at pictures, you can also read some articles. Look at that. Look at that. It's the marriage of a Disney Marvel Cinematic Universe character and a character from the Fox X-Men movies. Look at that, just right there. It's just Aurora Monroe and T'Challa getting married. It's just why just let them make movies together.
It looks like there's another marriage happening in front there between Iron Man and Captain America.
That's a civil war. That's different.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a civil union. If you know what I'm talking about.
That's not. Captain America and Iron Man are not going to be married. Get that out of here. Anyway, cool.
Yes.
So obviously we love toys here. We talk about toys all the time.
Every day.
We got to go check out an independent toy store based in San Francisco. It's called Super 7. These guys, you might have seen their work floating around. They basically make glorious kind of reproductions of old style toys, but they're just new toys, but done in an old-fashioned way. They're awesome. Let's go take a look.
Hey there, it's Brian and Max from Up at Noon at IGN, and today we're joined with Brian Flynn from Super 7, creator and owner of Super 7, the store, the toy line, the clothing line. I don't even know where to begin. Stuff. You make cool stuff that we love. So what we wanted to talk to you today about is sort of what's it like to run a toy store or a toy business? How does that even come together in 2018?
I don't think it comes together for a lot of people in 2018. Obviously, we have a point of difference is that we manufacture most of the stuff we make, so it's easier for us than probably most everybody else.
Right.
But especially with collecting toys and stuff, you want to have that sort of clubhouse, that place you go to discover things. So that was always one of the things that was very important to us, is we wanted to make that shop that you wanted to go to. And where's that place where you could go and see something you didn't know existed and be like, oh my God, what is that? Rather than just being like, I guess I'll buy the case on Amazon and sell the other half on eBay, you know.
Well, there's that sort of discoverability that I think gets lost when you buy stuff online. I mean, the ease of a transaction is fun. You click a button, it arrives the next day. But also walking into a store and picking something up and seeing something that you may not have necessarily found through like an algorithm. It's kind of important, right? And it feels like we're losing that a lot with digital and with Netflix and the death of video stores.
It's the larger world. It's not just, when you're buying that thing online, you're buying the one thing you know, and maybe if you're lucky, you're getting other people also bought, and then you're like, oh, what's that? But for the most part, you're not gonna walk in and see something you've never seen before. It's, when we were collecting toys 30 years ago and you went to the flea market, it's because there wasn't a toy magazine. You didn't know what was out there. You'd pick up stuff and you'd be like, what is this? I don't know what it is, but I need it. And same thing is, we're hoping through what we make and what we do, we're curating a certain amount of this, so when you walk in, you go, I had no idea this existed, but now I need it.
You guys also have this kind of weird retconning of pop culture where you do like retro-styled versions of toys that look like they're from your childhood, but they weren't, because I mean, if you're buying 4-inch figures in the style of old Kenner stuff, it probably wasn't Fight Club or Breaking Bad or Iron Maiden.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, for most part with all of it is like, what do we want? What would be fun to have? And that's really where we start. So some of it is very much like, okay, this should have come out in 1983, it didn't, let's make it. But there's a good bit of it is like, here are things that I'm interested in now as an adult, but my aesthetic and sensibilities as a collector throw back. So can these two things mix together and make an interesting soup, or are they just gonna turn into yuck?
How often you get so-called normal people who come into the store and they're like, hey, I grew up with something like this, and you watch this sort of inner nerd come out of them?
You get that where people start to go, oh my God, I can't believe they made this. But that usually comes after they realize that we make this stuff. That's actually the harder thing for people to understand. They come in here and they're like, oh, toy store. And we're like, actually, no, we make everything in the toy store. And then that thing is like, yeah, but this is Alien.
Right.
And Terminator. You don't make Alien and Terminator.
People kind of fill in the blanks in their minds and being like, oh, I was there for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Toys that should have been there. I mean, the Alien line that you did was brilliant because it was basically making a Kenner line that was canceled, because why would you ever make toys based on an incredibly gruesome, R-rated movie from the 70s?
Well, because it was a space movie and Star Wars was hot, so you better
exactly.
make it.
So what was it like, what's it like kind of going after brands and licenses like that?
I think in the beginning, it was a lot easier. It was simpler because when we did the Alien line, it was that thing when Tomarts put those figures on the cover in '91, I think it was. Everybody lost their collective mind because here was a thing you never knew existed, and you saw it. You're like, this would have been the coolest thing ever. Why can't I own these? So when we started talking about all the things we could make, and as things started snowballing a bit, and we were actually like, oh, we could get a license. It was like the thing I've always wanted were those Alien figures. So then we just sort of went after that. But when we made those figures, we thought that will be the end of it, because I'm making a 3 3/4 inch figure with low articulation, low lightness, low paint apps, and a higher price point compared to, at that time, it was like multi-articulated Star Wars figures with like high paint apps and low prices and all this. And it's like, we're only gonna sell a few of these to the really diehard guys.
Right.
And what we didn't realize at that time is, much like we were craving, is that all the people our age were like, I love these figures, but there's no nostalgia. Bring me back into nostalgia. Bring me back, make me feel like I'm a kid again. And so when we did Alien, that's what it felt like.
And it feels like something that our generation and the ones slightly older and slightly younger is really locking into the idea of nostalgia for action figures, because we grew up with it. But also that it seems to be, and there always has been this weird stigma, that toys are for kids. But how do we sort of like continue to help buck this idea that these are just like sort of cheap plastic things for children?
It's one of those things where you come back as an adult, it's all those things you loved as a kid, you still love as an adult. And because you didn't have VHS, you didn't ever see these movies again. The only way to relive any of this stuff was through the toys.
Right.
So you spent an inordinate amount of your childhood playing with these action figures. And so now, coming as an adult, you want that feeling and you play with the action figures again. And that's what I think drives so much of this.
It's paying homage to something you love, and if there's a band you love, you go see them in concert, or maybe you get like a T-shirt or something. But in the case of He-Man, like you can't go see He-Man live anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, but it's kind of that like little you're rooting for this thing that you love, and it's that part of you they can't take away.
Yeah, you're rooting for it, and I think you want to experience it again, and you want to see how it can change and grow and still move with you as you continue to grow up. So when we're talking about He-Man, we're not always making those same 5-inch He-Man figures. We're making 8-inch, highly detailed, highly articulated figures, because now as an adult, I understand what that is, and I want that too.
Yeah, the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I don't think any of this stuff is necessarily going away. I think it's just, you're having this thing where it's like, everybody's tried to make it like super mass, and not everything's designed to be super mass. It's okay to be in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's got to kind of fall back down into the middle again.
Brian, thank you so much. Max and I are obviously huge toy nerds, collectors, fans, have been our whole lives. And like on a personal level, thank you for like keeping this wondrous spirit of toys alive, because it's something we appreciate and will continue to, and we'll pass on to future generations, hopefully, whether or not they're into it or not. We're like, you got to buy Star Wars toys. That's
exactly, whether you like it or not.
Now, obviously, if people are in San Francisco, come by Super 7. It's in the Mission. It's super easy to get to. But if people aren't in San Francisco, how can they get their hands on Super 7 collectibles?
Head to super7store.com, and in about a month and a half, you can actually go to super7.com.
Oh.
Imagine that. Pretty simple. Yeah. Stop by, say hello. have fun.
Yeah, have fun.
you
Come
go.
buy toys. Thank you so
Exactly.
much for watching. Brian, thank you so much for letting us
Thanks
in your
for
store
stopping
and
by,
hanging out.
guys.
We're going to buy a bunch of toys now, so this rules. See you soon.
And we are back. Oh man, that was a blast. We actually shot a whole bunch of stuff that day at Super 7, and some really cool stories came out of it. So we're going to be running some Super 7 stuff pretty much every week for the next few weeks. So thank you for watching
Can I show
that.
off some of my Super 7 toys?
Yeah, of course you can.
Hold on. Check this out. I got they do the Iron Maiden figures. If you ever got into heavy metal, like Iron Maiden's a good band. They got this guy Eddie the Ed. And I got all the dudes. I got all the little guys there. There's
They
one
look
from,
great in this
one
car.
From Killers. There's one from was that Aces High, and then there's Power Slave, and there's the Trooper. And I like that they're just all in the Batmobile for no reason.
Are they
Just
all the
hauling
same? They're all
ass.
the same man, but just
They're
like
all, he's all the same man.
through
He
different
just
times?
he travels through time, becoming a cyborg or fighting in the War of 1812. Iron
Yep.
Maiden's really just a heck of a band.
Did he eat the flag? I really like that toy.
I don't really know what's going on there. I don't know if you're supposed to like hit people with a flag. Like war was different back then.
Do you like Iron Maiden, like ironically or unironically?
I don't really know. It lives in that strange spot in the middle. Iron Maiden's hilarious because if you listen to the lyrics, you think like, oh, they're like satanic heavy metal or whatever. But you're like, oh, this is about you sampled a quote of Winston Churchill. This is a song about like World War II pilots. This is
Right.
like Dunkirk, the song. Like.
I also want to point out the Mumra on your desk here, which is very nice. Let's talk
this
about
guy
that real
right
quick.
here. This is from Mezco. This I think was a Comic-Con exclusive. No, it wasn't actually. I got this.
There's his legs.
I got this on Amazon. This is surprisingly only like $40.
Mm-hmm.
I think he glows in the dark, but Mumra, of course, is the big bad guy from Thundercats. He's got some joints here, and then here's like an old Lion-O I've got him holding.
Now, Brian Flynn, who we just talked to, told us that he has been trying to work with the Thundercats license. So I'm really hoping we get to see some cool Thundercats stuff. Because like He-Man I'm really close to, because He-Man was my first, the first action figures I ever owned. But Thundercats was when things got real.
Yeah, Thundercats always sort of felt like He-Man with a little bit more self-awareness. Like
Yeah.
it was always, and the animation was better too.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the Mattel's Collector line, which is like Matty Collector. They do like these very like limited run like He-Man Masters of the Universe figures, and they also started doing Thundercats ones too, which are kind of like a pain in the ass to track down. You had to be like a member for the entire year. You had to basically do the subscription service thing and buy
Right.
the entire wave if you wanted to get old Mummy Mumra, which I'm like, dude, just let me buy the toy. So
We were going to talk about Toys R Us a little bit. I think we might bump that to next week because we want to get serious about
hey,
it.
well, Toys R Us isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, except they are. They're
Except
actually
they are.
they're going extinct. They've been hunted into extinction.
But in the meantime, Monster Hunter is out this week, and I'm not playing it because it's incredibly obtuse and very difficult. But the executive director of the game was here, so obviously I had to do my job as a video game journalist to get down to the bottom of what makes this game work. No, just kidding. I asked him how he would kill classic movie monsters, because that's much more fun. So let's take a look. Hey there, it's Brian Altano and Casey DeFreitas from IGN. Today we're with Kaname Fujioka, the executive director of Monster Hunter World, and Andrew Alfonso, the localization director of Monster Hunter World. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Monster Hunter is all about hunting down and murdering gigantic, terrifying monsters. But monsters have existed in pop culture and specifically movies for a very long time. So today, I wanted to talk to you guys about some monsters from history and how exactly you would go about killing them.
いろんな人。
わかりました。OK。OK。
Casey, you've played over 80 hours of Monster Hunter World. You're working on
Yes.
our guide extensively. You know all about this game from top to bottom. So feel free to chime in with some techniques or some
will
tips
do.
if you have some. So we're going to start with one of my favorite monsters of all time. He doesn't really look like any of the monsters in Monster Hunter World, but King Kong.
キングコング。
King Kong.
キングコング。
Tall, fearsome, really loves blonde woman, and has these teeth. And he may or may not throw poop. We don't know.
Well, I was saying he looks kind of like a giant version of Kangalala.
まあ、キングコングはババコンガに似てますよね。
まあババコンがねちょっとゴリラテイストが入ってるからまあ似てるといえば似てますけどまあちょっとパワフル面はちょっとね全然負けてるかも。
Kangalala is he is a monkey type of monster, right? He does have, those kind of tendencies. Probably King Kong is probably a little bit stronger than Kangalala.
Yeah, oh,
but
definitely.
So what do you think the best way to take this guy down using, traditional human techniques or Monster Hunter style?
どっちがいいですか？
どっちがいいでしょうかね。でもね飛行機とか落としちゃうからキングコングって。
Yeah, I
やっぱり
mean, I don't know, because King Kong, he can take down airplanes and stuff like that. I'm not too sure about that.
There's no airplanes in Monster Hunter yet.
そうですね、モン
Maybe
スターハンターに
someday.
飛行機
やっぱり、
がないですね。
はい、捕まえるぐらいちっちゃいやっぱりハンターの方がなんかいろいろこうね大きなモンスターに戦うそのねいろんな知識はハンターが多いから勝てるかな。
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to use some hunter techniques. I mean, the hunters in Monster Hunter, they're used to taking down gigantic monsters in the first place, so they probably have the kind of resources and intelligence to take down someone as big as King Kong.
How about poison banana?
罠の上にねバナナ食べるかな。
Does he even eat bananas or not? Should
I think I'm stereotyping here.
Yeah.
ちょっとステレオタイプかな。
I think he just eats people, maybe.
Oh
確か
no!
キングコングは人間しか食べないかもしれないですね。
So we'll have to poison a hunter and sacrifice him.
キングコングを食べたら倒すかもしれないです。
Next, this is a classic kaiju here. This is one that I heard that you're a fan of this guy. So this is Gigan?
ガイガン。
Yeah,
Gigan.
Japanese
Okay.
Gigan.
In Japanese, he's called Gaigan, but in
Gaigan.
English, he's called Gigan. So
Okay,
it's
so-
a little bit different, yeah.
A little bit different. So tell me about this monster, because I'm not super well versed in it.
僕は子供の頃からゴジラのシリーズすごく大好きで、まあちっちゃな頃にすごく見てたんだけど、このなんだろうな、これサイボーグの宇宙人がサイボーグで作った怪獣なんですよ。
So basically, yeah, he's been a fan of the Godzilla series since he was a kid. So he's always been watching it, and I guess one of the interesting points to him is that this is a monster that was built like as a cyborg, right? So that's kind of one of the cooler things about this kaiju.
で宇宙人が送り込んでくるんだけど、まあなんていうかもう全身武器みたいなデザインじゃないですか。まあここにもこんなノコギリがあったりとか。だから子供心にすごくかっこいいなと思って、だからこれが大好きなんですよ今。
Yeah, so like when aliens actually come to invade the Earth, right? Like this kaiju, he's basically like a walking weapon. He just like this chest opens up and things just start firing and everything like that. And for Fujioka-san as a kid, he saw this. He's like, this is so cool, right? This is amazing. So that's what he was feeling when when he first saw this kaiju.
So now that you know all about him, you have to kill him. So how would you do that?
どうすんだろうな。これでも宇宙人がこう操作してるんですよ。だから電波を遮断すれば止まるんじゃないかな。
So I guess like aliens kind of like were controlling him, like they're just like filling with the controls and everything like that. So I guess if you just cut the cord,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
that should be enough.
I was going to suggest either an autograph competition, because he has no hands, or thumb wrestling. Either way, because he's not. Look, he's working with these like sad little.
Yeah.
He's got these little hooks.
Put him in a room with a door.
Yeah, yeah, like the hand door. Yeah, he can't open a doorknob.
手がないからなんかノブがない扉が入ったらそれもう
I love that. So that's the best way to kill this guy is a simple locked door. Okay, next up, Return of the Jedi is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is from Star Wars. This is the Rancor. The Rancor in Star Wars lives underneath Jabba the Hutt, and he is killed in the movie. He also kills some people too. There's an arm in his mouth. So how would you take down the Rancor?
どうしますかね。これすごい強そうですよね。
Yeah, he looks super strong. He's gonna give him a couple seconds to think about this for a second.
とにかくたくさん食べさせて寝さす。
Maybe he looks like he just eats everything, right? So
Yeah.
maybe if we just overfeed him and he just falls into sleep, he gets the itis.
Oh yeah.
And he just falls asleep and then yeah, you won, right?
And put a bunch of large barrel bombs around him. And
Yeah,
you
you're
put
good to go.
bomb, yeah, barrel bombs and everything.
And in English we call that a food coma.
Yeah, 確か食い倒れ。
食い倒れ。
食い倒れの。
ジャパニーズ
そう、ジャパニーズ食い倒れの。
I love that. So we'll get the Rancor in a food coma, and then we'll go up and we'll kill him in his sleep. Speaking of food, one of my favorite monsters of all time is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Marshmallow.
Infamous villain from the end of the hit film Ghostbusters, the original movie. He's made entirely of marshmallows. So number one, how do you kill him? Number two, would you eat him afterwards?
でもすごく甘からね。でもすごい火に弱そうだから、特に火属性をファイヤーで ガーってやったらとろけてく
Yeah,
る
it gets
きそうじゃん
get a, like a fire element, fire sword,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
I was thinking.
Melt him.
Melt him.
and, that should do the trick.
Yeah.
その後に
トロトロにし
Toasted
て
marshmallow.
トロトロにして
あ、食べますか？
乗せて食べます
藤子さん食べますか？
食べます
He'd probably eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Monster Hunter is a kind of there's a lot. It's a lot about eating like these big, delicious, juicy pieces
Yeah.
of meat. Would you ever put like a nice big marshmallow
ま
dessert
あ、
meat?
モンハンでね、食事場で
そうですね
いろんなね、
はい
すごい
たくさん食べますから
たくさん食べますけど、まあこれからマシュマロの食事も、
まあでもなんかこ
提案
う
しますかね。
デザートでねこうとろっとしたの出てきたら美味しそうですよね
Yeah, I guess if you have it as a dessert platter in the game, maybe that might work as a marshmallow dessert platter.
Yeah, or if you're vegan.
Yeah, I would love to see a dessert platter in Monster Hunter.
今回ディレクターがすごい肉好きだったんでもうその彼を納得させるためにもうミートだったんですよ
So actually, the game director for Monster Hunter World, Takuda-san, he only eats meat. Actually, doesn't eat anything else.
That's it.
Just meat. He loves meat.
So
now we
he,
know.
you don't think he would eat, say, puff
じゃあ、
marshmallow?
タクダさんはこのマシュマロを食べますか？
食べないんじゃないの
He's not going to eat that.
Oh my God, that's not well more for us.
Yeah.
いや、じゃあ、まあ、2人が食べますか？
Finally, I know you've seen him before. This is King Bowser. The most formidable, most iconic video game villain, probably of all time, I would say, right?
I don't know about most formidable.
You don't think so? Yeah, he's been killed thousands of times, you're right. He breathes fire, he's dangerous. He's got like this
すごい
weird
危険なもの
choker
です。
collar.
ですね
How do you kill Bowser?
じゃあ、どう助けますか？
股の下をくぐって箸を落とす
Yeah. Go under him and cut the bridge. Just like Mario does.
That's true. That's worked for 30 years. so-
Environmental traps.
まあ、
Way
30
to
年
go.
もう成功してるから。
そう30年これが食ってクッパ
Yeah, it's gonna work. He's never gonna learn. So no,
That's
don't
true.
worry.
Now we've seen some Nintendo characters show up in Monster Hunter before. Could we ever have a fight with Bowser?
そうですねそういう機会があればね何か
But
面白いことは
if we
できるかな
yeah, if we have the opportunity, it'll be pretty nice. Yeah.
Can I point something out? Look at that delicious leg meat. That's
あ
that's
確
some
か
good leg meat.
ね足が美味しそうから美味しさから
Just a bite right in the big
食
leg.
事
Oh no,
食べ
Bowser!
るの
He'd
make some cool armor.
Do you think Koopa? I don't know. Do you think
Yeah.
Bowser?
I don't think it would be good for your stomach. Like it'd be
まあ
bad
確か
afterwards, but you know.
お腹に悪そうですけど。
京都の会社に怒られちゃうそんなの食べたら
Yeah, Nintendo might get a little bit angry if you do that. Not too sure about that.
I think there are laws against that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being on our show, and thank you for joining us. You can eat and fight and kill plenty of monsters in Monster Hunter World. Bowser is not one of them right now, but if you want to eat a lizard at home, that's on you. So thank you guys so much for coming,
Thank you very
and
much.
congrats on the launch of the game.
Thank you.
Thank you
And
very much.
we'll see you soon on Up at Noon and IGN, and for all things Monster Hunter, you're already in the right place, and it's right here
At IGN.
at IGN.
Thank you.
All right, and we are back. That was an incredibly fun segment. I saw somebody in the Twitch chat say they'd love us to do that exact same interview, but with Guillermo del Toro.
Oh God, I would love to talk to him about anything.
How cool would that be?
God, he's so cool. He's great.
Real quick, we're gonna do this very, very quickly. Nintendo announced new animals for Animal Crossing. Let's just look at them very quick. I love Animal Crossing. I'm still playing the mobile version. What
yeah, no,
are
this
these?
This is not good.
What are these
No,
nightmare
this
beasts?
This looks bad. I know they're going for like a strawberry shortcake ice cream cake thing with that rhinoceros on
Yeah.
the side. It just looks like it gored somebody.
Okay, so let's go left to right here. We have the cat on the left that's like evil and is wearing a tablecloth
That
instead
looks
of
like
clothes.
the mom from Requiem for a Dream. Like
We
just-
have the It Clown as a sheep, which is just, what is wrong with you? That is I'm supposed to get joy from this. I have to go talk to this guy and give him fruit? Are you kidding me? I gotta bring this thing fish? Next to him, you got this polka dot nightmare bird bunny thing. It's just horrible looking. It's got the same things that is like it's like if I had freckles on my face and I wore a T-shirt with freckles on it. Like what's wrong?
I know they're going for like a colorful thing here, but like, how about just go to the fashion store? At
Yeah,
the
we'll
mall
get this
and be
piss-
like,
look at this
what
pissed
are-
off
Like,
bu-
what are people wearing? What would people maybe normally wear? Like, what are these carnies?
Yep. Then we got this diarrhea duck
this
wearing
like-
a barber pole T-shirt. What the hell is wrong with
this
you?
looks like a dead bear on the side here.
Right? And then hold on.
What
let's.
the-
I don't even
what
know
the
what that
hell
is.
is
What
that?
is that?
Get that out of here.
And then we have, hold on, get that thing out of here. Then we have this strawberry horn-nosed rhino doctor that does surgery with his face. Nintendo, I love you. I love Animal Crossing. What's going on? Max, go to the next thing.
It looks like Evil Knievel Teddy Ruxpin's
Hey,
corpse.
if you guys are excited, guess what? It's February, the perfect time for Gothic Rose festivals.
This looks like Bloodborne on Nintendo DS.
Exactly. That looks like the doll from the Hell's Lounge or whatever it's called. So this is this goth band that comes out and plays when you get enough bats for this awful night woman. What the, what is this, man? I love this game. This is insane. Okay, enough of this. No more Animal Crossing. You want to do one more picture? There we go. Look at that. There we
This
go.
looks like My Chemical Romance. I hate it.
She's so happy about it. She's like, this is my nightmare dream.
Get out of here, you prep. You're just a poser.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah, you don't really listen to the Misfits. You're just wearing that shirt.
All right, we have about 5 minutes left in the show, and I wanted to get into some very important subject matter that has been bothering me my entire life as A big-time pizza enthusiast, and B, as a former New Yorker, a guy from New Jersey, East Coast pizza elitist. Let's get out of the way real quick. The Ninja Turtles have been eating pizza forever, right? And some of that pizza has been great and gooey, and the way its cheese drips is just incredible. They've also had stuff like banana ham, pepperoni, sea salt, chalk.
The place they are is great for pizza. Their choice of toppings is somewhere between like a stoned guy and a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
Not really the best.
So,
yeah,
we're gonna do a really quick dive through the history of the Ninja Turtles and their sort of weird relationship with pizza, despite being, for what in a place that most Americans will agree is the mecca of American pizza. I know Chicago, I got love for you. You guys make good stuff over there too. Everywhere all over the world, Connecticut, New Jersey, you guys make amazing pizza. The Turtles live in New York City, right? That is just the spot. That is the place where you can go in any block and get a really good slice for like $2. Comes with a bottle of water or a Coke. It's fantastic. Here we go. This is what pizza looks like in New York City. This is the perfect slice. It's gooey, it's melty, it's crispy.
It doesn't fit on the plate.
It doesn't fit on the plate. You fold it in half. The oil just drips off. It's just nasty. There's the Ninja Turtles in New York City. There's John's Pizzeria, my favorite pizza
they
place
use Ninja Turtles for tourism in New York. They're like, come to New York, maybe you'll see mutants that live in the sewer. Who knows?
So real quick, back in the 80s when the Ninja Turtles were invented, we got some idea of what they looked like. We talked about them earlier. They had really long necks and long noses and stuff like that. They looked funny in the original Eastman and Laird comic books.
They didn't eat a ton of pizza in the comics, but that was kind of added for the cartoon. But it was like, they're still teenagers in the comics, so they do eat pizza. Everyone eats pizza.
From what I could tell, that comic strip right there, that panel, is the first time we've ever seen them actually eating pizza together, which is really cool. It brings people together, right? 4 turtles, 8 slices, it's good math. When you go out to pizza with 2 friends and you get a pie, everything's a mess. You have to fight each other. Some guy gets 3 slices, the other people get 2. It's not good math. Splinter eats vegan, I think, or eats gruel from the toilet seat. I don't even know. Here the Turtles are in the 1989 TV show, which I just cherish and adore and will forever. Great, great pizza on the show. It looks floppy and gorgeous. It's not really brought to you by anybody. It's just New York. Now, this is when they started getting sort of like culinarily adventurous with it, and they would get like mayonnaise and blueberries on their pizzas like a bunch of idiots, but they're teenagers, they're goofy, it's okay, I get it. Let's go to the 90s. Now, in the 90s, things started to get weird for the first time. The Ninja Turtles arcade game was out in arcades. The NES version of Ninja Turtles, the video game, had been out for a year. And in 1990, this game came home to home consoles. The same year the first movie came out. Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, it has the first example, what I would say, in-game advertising, which are Pizza Hut ads that actually fall off the wall and hurt you. As you can see, there was a pizza, the 89 version down there, the side-scrolling one that's not very good, had pizza power-ups in it. Pizza in video games for the Ninja Turtles has always been something that gives you health. Yeah, and you get a slice or a pie.
Arcade games too, frequently arcades were in pizza parlors, so it was like it was all just a big ecosystem of pizza and video games.
Yeah, and now so this is their first corporate sponsorship here, because in 1990, when you bought the Ultra Ninja Turtles 2 arcade game, it came with a coupon, as you can see on the box there, that said for a free personal pan pizza. Which means that you would get the game and you would go to the New York's #1 pizza place, Pizza Hut. What? Look, I understand that it's hard to work with like local businesses when you're dealing like on a sort of like city level, and Pizza Hut's a national chain, then that makes more sense. But the idea of the Ninja Turtles living in the culinary pizza capital of the country and going to Pizza Hut is just wrong to me. Maybe you live in a place where Pizza Hut's great. I don't have a big problem with Pizza Hut, but there are better pizzas in New York City, which the Ninja Turtles are ignoring right off the bat. Next frame. Domino's, advertised in the 1990 movie. Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds. They get it delivered through the seat, or through the actual like.
I feel like the
grate
argument here is that Domino's is the only establishment that would be like, yeah, we deliver to half addresses and we will happily put the pizza in the sewer.
Yeah, they're okay with that. Again, New York City, getting Domino's pizza delivered is a little crazy. I lived in New York for years. I love New York City pizza. Getting Domino's there feels wrong. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. The weird thing about this movie, if you want to go to the next frame, is that when this movie came out on DVD, or VHS, because there wasn't one back then, it came with a coupon for Pizza Hut. So Domino's sponsored the movie, Pizza Hut sponsored the home version. Neither of them are great compared to New York City pizza. Next. Let's look at the 90s. Elio's.
Ooh.
What is that? Elio's is if you wanted to eat frozen cardboard squares at home or at school.
Yeah.
You can see how sad that makes
It's
Leo.
for homeschooled kids who want to feel like they have a cafeteria in their house.
Again, we showed you what New York City pizza looks like. That's what Elio's looks like.
Ugh.
Next. Pizza Crunchabungas.
What?
This is the Ninja Turtles being like, yeah, if you guys want pizza at home, what about these children's foods that we spray dusted with Doritos cheese? And after that, if you like pies, like pizza pies.
Those look like old sponges. I don't like
You'll
them.
love these green turds full of cream.
Ugh.
Next. The 2000s were weird for the Turtles. They didn't really do a whole ton. There was a cartoon, there was an animated movie, but they made gummy candy pizza and then just regular candy pizza that looked like sort of like, rock hard Cheez-Its.
What?
That's just like a threat. It looks like a butt.
All right.
Next. The 2000s, again, we got some movies, we got some stuff. There's a pizza slice there. It looks okay. It still kind of looks Pizza Hut-y. Not really big and floppy. Now, the Michael Bay movies came out, but before that, we got a pizza making kit at home from the Turtles themselves. Look at that. It came with cheese powder that you dumped in there. Look at that thing.
Pretty amazing it took them this long to make this when it's just kind of a no-brainer marketing-wise.
Dude, the Turtles love pizza, and I think that they're bad at it. Okay, next. Finally, let's get to the end here. 2010, back with the Pizza Hut thing. What is that? That is a threat. That looks like something from the end of Akira.
That looks like a dead guy's toes.
Yeah, dude, it looks like toes that you rip off of a pizza pie. So all of them have their own flavors there. Michelangelo's comes with like Hawaiian, like what? Are you kidding me? So they all have their own. You can buy all four and just, sit at home and get diarrhea. Or you can go see the movie where they eat regular looking pizza, but again, it's Pizza Hut. And one last one over here. Let's keep going. This is what it looked like in China. If you thought things got weird in America, China is just a threat. Like there's just like snails and lobster tails. It's just not pizza.
Yeah.
All right, let's round this out. What do we got left here, Max? Is that it?
That's about it. No, I think it's worth pointing out if we think that Asia is screwing up pizza and framing it around Ninja Turtles, I think that's okay because Ninja Turtles are Americans screwing up ninjutsu. So, they're like a bunch of loud skateboarders who like yell on fire escapes and shout like surfer slang.
Unlike the Turtles, support your local pizza restaurants. I'm sure there's always a great one in your town. You can get the chain stuff if you want in a pinch. But man, Ninja Turtles, you guys got to step it up. We'll be watching. You have a new cartoon coming soon and hopefully new movies. But in the meantime, fix your pizza game.
Yep.
Because it's sad.
That was Up at Noon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Apologies for any technical hiccups we might have had. We will be back next week with more fun adventures and goofs and guffaws and gallivants and what have you. You can find us both on Twitter. I'm Max Scoville. He's Agent Bizzle. And that is the end of the show. It's over, and we always forget what to say. Goodbye. And there's the thumb.
See you soon.
We did a good job.
Next week, specifically.